All right, so you guys said that you wanted to know which tools we use in the shop. So this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna go over the list of tools that are most commonly used and probably the cheapest to get into. We pretty much built the Calypso with about what you see on this table here. Andrew, do we not build the whole Calypso
Probably
pretty much
less.
with this? Probably less, yeah, because we didn't
have
have
the impact or anything.
Yeah, we didn't have all the impacts and stuff here. So the reason for doing this is because I know a lot of you are wanting to kind of load out a nice toolbox, your garage, your driveway, whatever it is that you got, and you need to know what to use. Now, we work on these Fox bodies almost every single day, and I can tell you, outside of your common stuff like screwdrivers, hammers, wrenches, like that, this is the stuff that we recommend. So let's go ahead and get started. I threw this in because we don't have water out here, running water, so this works really, really good to clean your hands, and I would show you if I was dirty, but these work good. You can get these from O'Reilly. You need to keep these in your garage, driveway, shop, car, truck, whatever. We use these every single day. When we started the build on the Calypso, this is pretty much all we had. We had a set of impact sockets here that I got off of Amazon, and I'll do my best to try to show you guys where this came from. At least put some links down in the description if I can find it. These are a cheap set of Tack Life, and I want to say they were maybe 40 bucks for these. We have used these every single day. Every day we use these, and although I'm missing one, it's around here somewhere. All right, so I highly recommend this. Over here, this is the famous little socket set that we got, what, 5 years ago probably?
Probably.
And I think it was like 30 bucks maybe on Amazon. We literally use this on a roll around box, that black box over there. We use this kit to almost completely build the Calypso. Now, obviously, you're going to need some big sockets and things like that, but this will absolutely do the job, and I highly recommend, guys, look, you don't have to go out and buy the Craftsman stuff in the big $400 or $500 kits. You can buy something like this right here. It comes with a ratchet and everything. It's not in here right now. You can buy this, and you'd be surprised what you can do. Also, add this to the list here. Come off Amazon. I think these were around 30, 40 bucks, something like that. It's a Pro Stormer. But they're
sounds tiny.
Yeah, it does. They're a swivel ratchet, and you just flip one side to the next to loosen or tighten. Okay. Every day we use these. There again, I'm showing you stuff that we use religiously on this channel. When we're working on something, guaranteed we're pulling from these 3 boxes. If you're going to be working on these cars more than maybe 1 or 2 times a week, I highly recommend that you invest in some of this Milwaukee stuff. And the reason why I'm saying Milwaukee is because we've had this forever, and it's lasted. The batteries are the weak point, because if you drop these, they will bust, and we've got a couple over there that have busted on us. But guys, when they work, okay? We use these every single day. So what you got here is a little 3/8 ratchet, and then over here is a 3/8 right angle impact. We don't use this maybe as much as you might think, but when you need it, you got to have this, okay?
It's good for like pulleys and stuff.
Very
in front
good.
of the motor where the radiator's in the way.
This thing is a freaking tank. We
Worth
thought
its weight in
Andrew,
gold.
yeah, we thought Andrew actually messed it up a while back, but no, it's good. It still works. We take off and put on all of our wheels with this thing right here. And guys, listen, here's what I want you to see. For anybody that's wondering, and you're like, oh, 12-volt power is not enough. M12 is not enough. Yeah, it is. Guaranteed it's enough. We have crushed crush washers on rear ends with this. Not completely tight, but run it down enough where you can kind of start working on it and put the pull handle on it from there. They take wheels and tires off every single day for us. I cannot stress to you.
The M18s are the same torque.
Yeah, the M18 is great. The reason why I went M12 is because there's more of an assortment of little stuff like this that we use. But if you want to go M18, you could do that as well. If you want to get into stuff like this, go ahead and buy the Milwaukee. All right. With that said, not everything that we have is Milwaukee. Ryobi. This thing gets put to use almost every day. A lot of this stuff does that I'm showing you. This right here gets used so much. I'm surprised. Look, I never use a tool on it. It's just a bump it, spin it off, put it back on, boom. Right? You need this. This is something I couldn't even give you an example of what we use this shit on. Clearancing, like brackets and
Cutting exhaust off.
Cutting exhaust off. Oh yeah. Let me show you how quick it is Well, they're all the same, but just kind of spin this thing, right? Look at that. Once you get the technique down, these things are so quick to swap. Oops. Hold on, restart. All right, let's try that again. But this is how I tighten them up. Just give it a bump, and now you're good to go. You can cut off whatever you need to cut off. You can chamfer like the heads of bolts and things like that with this. So now, with that being said, there's a caveat to this. You don't have to have the Milwaukee stuff, guys. You can go buy the Cobalt, the Ryobi. You can buy whatever you want to. But if you're going to be using this shit heavily, I recommend getting the Milwaukee. One of my favorite tools that we have right here. Andrew, these things work so good. We use them mainly for cutting zip ties, but they have worked to cut cotter pins. And this is probably the main thing that I use these for outside of zip ties is going to be cotter pins. Like on a castle nut, you can come in, grab the back side of that thing and pry it out, and that's what we use them for. So
stripping wires.
Stripping wires. These things are awesome. And these are, what do we say these were? Kleins? I think these are Kleins, Knipex, whatever. They're all great. You got to have this. Okay, now look, these things, I've had the worst luck with these.
I was wondering if you were going to say it or not.
I've had the worst luck. We can't get a set that's worth it. Well, that'll stay on at least. Watch. Oh, it's going to make, son of a bitch is going to work. Oh, there it goes, there it goes. Anyway, we use these all the time. I guess you guys know that, but this is definitely something that you need around the shop. Just try to get you a good pair. These came from O'Reilly, I think. They suck. The ones from Harbor Freight, I can't, whatever. Now, feeler gauges. That's something that everybody knows you kind of need around the shop, but we use them probably a little differently than most people. Our cars, we don't have to set lash like that. We don't have a solid roller, well, for now, at least. These will come in handy soon. But we set spark plug gap with these. So just add them up, put it in between your electrode, tap the spark plug down, and you got this thing set. So we use these a little differently. Also zip ties, guys. If you've got a Harbor Freight, go buy every size, every color, everything you can buy. You gotta have zip ties, okay? We use those things all the time, obviously, right? I've loved this thing. We've used this a lot.
That's a really good torque wrench for the money.
It's been a really, really good one. I spent the money on an Icon, didn't like it. I don't buy the Icon.
They're trash.
We've had two.
They're garbage.
They're garbage. Don't get those. This came from O'Reilly. I think it was 40 or 50 bucks, and so far I love it. Seems very accurate when I compare it to any of the other ones. And all a lineup tool, whatever you want to call it, you got to have this, guys, because this works to pull your tensioner, to get your belt on and off. It's not my favorite use, though. But if you're working on, say, like control arms or anything like that, anything you need to line something up, you got to have one of these. You can use them a million different ways, and you can get them from Harbor Freight really cheap. Goes without saying. I mean, come on. Got to have one of these. Get a long one. We really use this for getting the belt off of the tensioner. But I also use this. This is an absolute must when changing gears. We put 2 bolts in the flange, wedge this thing in here like that in between the bolts. You can do whatever you need to do. You can torque down your pinion nut, all that stuff. All right, I don't want to drag this out too much. Let's move over here. If you guys are going to be using seam sealer, anything that's real thick, or maybe you're replacing your own windshield and you got to use some urethane, get one of these. Kind of expensive, but if you can swing it, get one of these. If it's a one-time deal, tough it out. But if you've ever used seam sealer, especially in the cold, you almost can't do it by hand. So I recommend one of these. It's not a must.
Don't buy the Ryobi one.
Do not buy the Ryobi.
It folded up.
Yeah.
You can see it bent.
Yeah. Andrew, I don't know why I didn't throw this thing away. This is great for like just normal caulking around the house, but yeah, don't use that on anything thicker than that. Now you're going to see a bunch of other tools up here. We can talk about this. Drill, and of course, this thing's been great. It's not, never had a problem with it. Had it for like 6 years. Use this to put in self-tapping screws and stuff. Great. We never use that. We use that to cut exhaust sometimes, but that's not a must.
Side
so I'm just,
grinder will do all that.
Yeah, side grinder will do all that. Wire, you got to have some wire, guys. I don't know where you're going to get it from or whatever. Get you some stainless steel wire like that. keep it around the shop, keep it in your car, keep it in your toolbox because it can save your ass. I promise you. So get you a roll of wire, whatever it is. Next up, we use this way more than we want to admit.
Mm-hmm.
We be messing up sometimes, y'all. And Andrew usually has to do this because he's the best I've ever seen in it. I'm not going to lie. He really is. But get yourself the bugs. They come separate. You have to buy those. You can get them from Harbor Freight, though. They're like 10 cents a piece.
They are Chinese.
Yeah. Get yourself a good one. I don't give just get one, okay? Get it from Harbor Freight. This is an old Craftsman. Half the missing, but we use it so much. And I'm telling you now, when you got to have it, you got to have it. There is no option. So get yourself a tap and die set.
You really don't need an expensive one working on cars.
Oh, man. What do we use it for mainly? Like cleaning up threads on a bolt or hole. Like before.
You're running through a bolt hole or something that's usually half the time it's a bung or something like that. It ain't very hard, so a cheap set's fine.
Cheap set's fine. If you get one like this comes with ease outs and stuff like that as well. So as you can see, you're going to break this off. We've not even got that out yet. It'll get you out of a bind, y'all. I'm telling you. Over here, Harbor Freight stuff, step bits, Christmas tree bits, whatever you want to call them. You got to have these things. I recommend it. They're cheap. I think you can pick up a set for like 20, 30 bucks from Harbor Freight, and it comes, I think, with 3. So get yourself that. Over here, I recommend some of these little nylon wheels here for cleaning off gaskets and things like that. Stay away from the wire wheels. You need a wire wheel in your arsenal for sure, but this right here is going to be great for gaskets on aluminum, so you won't, mess it up. So must. This is my gauge now, and I spent a lot of money on this thing right here, y'all. So you don't have to spend as much money as I spent on this.
It's mine. He stole it.
Seriously, this is obviously a very, very good meter here. You don't have to have this. You can go to Harbor Freight and get one of those $3, $4, $5 ones. They'll work. Forego the test light. I mean, pick up a test light. That's fine. But if you had to pick between the two, what would be your choice?
I like a meter.
Yeah, a meter's
As long
good.
as you understand how to use it, a meter's way better.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, you can
Because
check
you can
for
on-mount wires.
continuity. Here's the thing. Like, you can test. Like, you can have a low voltage issue, right? You can have 3 or 4 volts on something, and that light will light up. And you might not notice the difference between how bright it is at 3 volts versus 12 volts. So that's why we recommend doing this. We've had low voltage problems at fuel
Especially
pumps.
with LEDs.
Yeah, exactly.
LEDs are solid state.
A lot of the issues that you have with your fuel pump not coming on your car is like a relay issue, and a lot of times it's low voltage. It'll light up on a regular test light, but you won't know that it's actually low voltage. So get one of these. All right, some of the other things that we absolutely use around the shop every single freaking day is got to be a vise. And as you can see, Andrew made fun of my vise when I first bought it. He said, what you gonna do with
Look at
that
that
little
Mickey Mouse
vise?
vise. Look. My hand covers up the whole thing.
Andrew, how many times have you used my little Mickey Mouse vise?
I used it a bunch and I cussed it about half the time.
This thing works. Look at that. Awesome. I think I paid 40,
Too
50
much.
bucks. But no, seriously, we use the shit out of this, okay? You got to get you a vise, guys. Go to Harbor Freight, pick you up a little vise. I don't give a what you got to put it on. Mount it to a plastic table. Get you a vise. You're going to need it with a drill. You're going to need to beat on stuff and do shit. Grinder. We mainly use the vise, just to show you guys. Andrew, well, he'll tell you. This is usually what goes in our vise right here. Okay, we take bolts and we're cutting bolts off, right? And then you switch over to your flapper disc, and then you can chamfer or whatever you want to call it, round the end of the bolt off. So trust me, get one. All right, moving on. Next up, I recommend going ahead and getting a very good soldering iron. This thing costs maybe 80 bucks, maybe not quite that much. You can buy the cheap ones from Harbor Freight, that's fine. But look around on Amazon, and any of these like this are going to be awesome. Guys, this damn thing gets hot so quick. You know what? Screw it. Let me just show you. Just turn it on. Watch this. I think this is important because, trust me, you go get a cheap one and you'll be waiting for an hour for this thing to start melting solder. This damn thing right here does not play. There
Or a
it is.
propane one.
Yep.
The little.
So look, there it is. You see how freaking quick that is, guys? What was that? 15 seconds? 20 seconds? You need one of these. You're going to use it. Some of the things that we don't use around the shop that much, but are kind of essential later on as you kind of get your stuff set up. It's gonna be like a bandsaw. This we use every day, all day. This is typically where we'll take this bolt, most of the time that we've cut off and it's jagged, and we'll round the end of it off right here. That's normally what we use that for, but we use it all the time. The drill press is nice to have around the shop, but you don't have to have that. The old bench grinder over there gets used all the time. Look at the damn wire wheel on it. It's shot, bro. But we use that thing all the time. So what I want to do is go back over everything, because I know you're like, what did he say? What did he say? So I'm going to go back over everything for you real quick. Nice impact set. Got to have it. Nice little socket set. Some good wrenches here. Get yourself some good cutters. You need these. Get yourself a decent torque wrench. Got to have it. A lineup tool, whatever you want to call it. You know, good calipers, that'd be great. Obviously, you got to have a crowbar. You can pick this up from Harbor Freight. You need wire around your shop. I'm telling you guys, don't forego that. You need this tap and die set or something of the sorts. Some Christmas tree bits from Harbor Freight. A cheap meter from Harbor Freight works. This right here. Got to have yourself a grinder. A corded grinder is fine too. Just make sure you got a grinder with a cutoff disc and a flap disc. Get yourself a cheap vise. One of these soldering irons right here. And if you can swing it, you can't go wrong with that. Okay. Now, once you get a little more advanced,
get you a watchmaker's vise like you got.
Once you get a little more advanced and you got some extra money or something like that, pick these things up, and you can't go wrong, guys. All right. I know I'm kind of all over the place with this, but I'm telling you, these are the things that's going to make your life a lot easier. And this is our go-to. Like, me and Andrew walked around the shop. We asked ourselves, what is it that we always grab? Now, of course, we left out ratchets and things like that. I mean, you need that type of stuff. But these are some of the things that a lot of times people kind of forget about, or they don't know where to start. Also, some good lighting. You can, oh Lord, I could just go on and on about stuff. This thing's nice though. I picked it up on Amazon. It's magnetic. It sticks to everything. It turns. You have to have lights. Y'all have to. Headlamps. We've got some of the nice LED ones, but I don't know where the hell they are, honestly. Headlamps, those are Andrew's favorites. These, you can just go crazy on that type of stuff. What I don't want you to do is go out and waste a lot of money and think that you got to buy one of these big Craftsman kits that cost $1,000, or like, this is the shit right here, minus some screwdrivers and some other things that you need to really build a car. This is a little small here, but it works great.
Fox body.
Yeah, it's great for a Fox body, exactly. I think this thing was $60, something like that, right? Pick that up. And some more murder stands from Harbor Freight. I mean, that's what we've used forever, right? One other thing that I left out, and now this is expensive, but I'm going to tell you to change your life. Andrew, show right here. A freaking welder, y'all. And I'm not talking about a flux core welder. If you absolutely have to, get yourself a flux welder. That's fine. Any of these welders now will get the job done. But it needs to be a gas welder. You need to have a tank, right? Flux welders will work in a pinch, but our whole welding game got stepped up a bunch when we got one of these. Andrew got out here and started welding. We all now can weld. We're not great at it, but we can get done. Broken bolts and things like that, I mean, we'll weld to it and back them out. Guys, get a welder. Seriously, if you can afford it, if you can swing it. I hope this wasn't too boring. I'm going to leave a lot of this in, so I'm going to ramble a lot and I'm going to repeat myself, but I just want to make sure that you guys understand what's going on. Also, so something else that you guys said you wanted to see was what I carry in my pocket, some EDC stuff. Now, I don't particularly carry these two things all the time like I should. Andrew carries them all the time. He's got them in his pocket right now. I have them, but I don't carry them a lot.
Not the adjustable, just because it's so small, it won't fit anything.
Yeah.
But I carry the pliers.
But this shit will save you
Everywhere.
We had to use these in Texas.
Take them to church.
EDC is real popular, right? Everyday carry, if you guys don't know. Everybody wants to know what everybody carries. This is what I carry. This is what, actually, let me put this down because I don't carry this every day. I recommend, if you got room in your pocket, to do that. Here's what I carry. This is a Hogue Deca Magna Cut knife. It's got aftermarket scales on it. You don't have to have those. Really nice knife. Super awesome blade, Magna Cut steel. And here's my go-to flashlight. I've shown you guys this. I swear by it. I love it. It's got a bunch of different modes. It's extremely bright to be small. It's right at about 800 lumens. 1, 2, and you got your different modes you can go through, right? Awesome light. Okay, check this out. 1, 2, 3. You got a little side light. Thing I like about this light is if you're working on something, right? I mean, it just attaches. It also attaches that way as well. Think of the uses when you're under the hood of a car and you can attach this thing like this, right? You can see. Love this light, highly recommend it. And also, if you're working on, say, like your air conditioner or something, and you've got some of the dye in it that glows, if you're looking for leaks, check this out. There you go. You got a little black light, a UV light, and it does work in a dark area. It works just like you would need it. Okay, that's what I carry. Some of the other stuff I want to just kind of go over. If you want to spend the money on a really good knife, obviously Benchmade is really good. I do carry this knife a lot, and this is S90V steel, which is a very hard steel to sharpen, but it holds its edge really good. This is the carbon fiber. You know, if you guys wanted to know, so sometimes I carry this. This is a Baby Banter. This is another really good knife right here. It's small. I do enjoy carrying that one. This is the SOG Ultra, I think is what this is. If you guys need a very thin knife and you just don't want to have something big in your pocket, even though this bug out right here is really thin, look at that. At the difference, right? So this is also a money clip as well. So the SOG Ultra is a really good knife. One of my favorites, and probably Andrew's too,
That's my favorite.
This little Civivi right here. Razor sharp, by the way. I love this thing. You just drop it right down in your pocket, and you can actually get 2 fingers on this thing. Believe it or not, it's actually really good. So,
yeah.
Liner lock.
But how often are you cutting through more than just boxes with a pocket knife, boxes, and cutting open packages and stuff? It ain't like you need a sword. I mean,
No, you don't. We don't.
This is what I carry. I mean, I carry this every day.
Yeah. So here's Andrew's little setup.
That's what I carry every day.
So this is what
it does just fine. That knife's actually bigger than what I used to carry. I used to carry a little case.
That's a little mini bug out, right?
Yeah, it's a mini.
Yep. What's the 2 things that a man should carry around in his pocket, in your opinion?
A pocket knife and a flashlight.
That's it.
And I think a pair of pliers.
Yeah, and a pair of pliers. All right, so let's go back over a few things here. So I love these little O lights right here. All right, the arc failed, and let me tell you why. This is a UV light, right? So there again, if you're checking for leaks and things like that, look at that. It works really, really good. And it's also a flashlight, and it's 1,000 lumen, so really nice. It feels like kind of like a knife in your pocket. It's real slim. It's magnetic as well on the end cap. Love these knives. Love these little flashlights. This is a laser. Now this is important for some of you guys. You know, maybe at your job or whatever. It's got a nice little laser, and it's not the brightest, but you can see it on the back of the house back there. But if you're trying to point something out to somebody, these work great. There again, 1,000 lumens on the flashlight portion. Awesome. Some of Andrew's and mine, like, favorite lights that we carry if we're not carrying our little clear lights, are some of these right here. The i3T. These things work great. They're not the brightest thing ever, but they work really good nonetheless, and they fit in your pocket really nice.
Those, to me, those are better if you have the side pocket on your pants like you're at work. But the i3T, that's the T plus. The i3T is better because you can take that clip off. Because if you try to hook this on your back pocket like I do, it gets caught. It's got a double-sided clip, so it gets caught in fabric and it bends the clip, and then you got to buy a new one or take it off anyway.
That's right. And if you really want to light the world up, and we do have bigger flashlights than this, guys, but this is probably the limit of what you want to carry in your pocket, a Woobin X2. I love this thing. Check it out. It's magnetic right here. Pop it up, got USB-C charging, and this thing is extremely bright. It's 2,500 lumen, and it'll light your world up. It's perfect, man. This is what you want. Like, if you're really trying to see what's going on, this is it, right? And we do have a bigger.
If you're just trying to have a brighter flashlight than your buddy, then that's what you want. But if you want one that's usable, I'll buy one of them.
Yeah, well, but at the same time too, though, we got to go out here and see this thing. So just to give you guys an example. So that's about 25, 30 yards away back there. Look at that. Come on. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's something I've wanted to make for a long time. And we're gonna have some smart in the comments like, duh, you know, these are just tools. But seriously, this is what we use, y'all. This is how we get work done. And y'all know we get some work done. So there it is. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Oh, before I do, Andrew mentioned it earlier.
That's the most important tool in the whole shop.
This is it. Most important tool in the whole damn shop. And honestly, I'm very up to date on my speakers. Trust me, I understand there's sound box out there. That's one of the baddest ones that there are. But if you want a good sounding speaker for your garage, for your driveway, for your shop, this is it, y'all. The little JBL party box or whatever the hell it's called.
I like the little W King speakers too.
Yeah, those W Kings are awesome. And yes, they're bigger, better. I get that, but this is perfect. It's battery powered. It'll run all day. Oh, trust me. Just, y'all, really, we love this thing. All right, I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching.